So I do have, for those of you that are tuning in, I've got Austin Tovey, Jacksonville Beach native, I guess, or Atlantic Beach native?
Yeah.
Atlantic Beach native.
Atlantic Beach.
We'll just say Duval. How about that?
Duval.
So I like to ask some ancillary questions outside of the main purpose of two types. And I want to start with your Hall of Fame items. So if we had a two types of people Hall of Fame, obviously you would be in it, Austin, and we had your bust there, the nice, bronze statue. And then we had some relics that were very specific and unique to you. And everyone gets to cheat. And I know we've got more than one. So let's start there to give the audience just a little insight into who you are, what you're all about.
Yeah, so what I chose to bring that's uniquely mine is my pro model board from Armstrong Foils. So I got it right here. Took about a year and a half designing this. So this shape is designed specifically for my favorite foil sports, which are wake foiling, riding behind the boat, which we do a lot out here during the summertime. And then tow foiling, like when you're getting towed in from a jet ski, which is just like the ultimate because you can just get wave after wave. And then kite foiling. So pretty much sailing around, boosting big airs, like doing freestyle. So it's an extremely strong board. Like it's built to last, that's for sure. You can come down with a lot of speed and power on it, and it will stand the test of time. So just super pumped on how this board turned out and just really excited to see all sorts of people riding it from all over the world and that are super stoked on how it turned out.
And it's a fairly new product, right? Like it just
Yeah.
came out within the last month or so?
This came out probably like 5 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been feeling really good. Extremely lightweight, extremely strong, and it's a pretty small foil board, but for me and my style of riding, it fits my style perfect. So it's got 13 liters of volume, so can come down from hard landings like when I'm doing the flip 360 on the wake, like it just hits the water and it's got just enough volume to pop right back up on foil. So
How does it handle in the lazy river? That's the question.
oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's so stiff. So that's what you want is a board that's extremely stiff. So when you're pumping, you don't want any give, and that just projects straight into the power of the foil. So I could have lapped that lazy river like 20 more times, but all we needed was one lap. So I'm gonna try to find more lazy rivers. I know what's the water park here? Just any other water parks? Like I just want to try to find some new spots to just try to do that more often.
Just one up yourself every time, right?
Yeah, just try to find like maybe sneak into Disneyland or somewhere in Orlando that has some crazy ones and yeah, just see.
Well, if you're a Florida or anywhere resort that wants a little PR, here's the call right here, man. Austin Tovey. And I was telling Austin before, so we actually got introduced through a friend and client of mine, Mike, over at Good Tides. I actually saw the video of you doing the ride down the lazy river, and I remember showing my son. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then Mike starts doing some work at your house. We ended up shooting that project, which was beautiful, and I made the connection. I went, oh, that's the same guy. Oh, this is amazing. So now here we are, Austin. So congrats on the board, man. That's incredible to have. And tell the audience the name of the board so they can go find it.
Yeah, so it's the Tovey Pro from Armstrong Foils. So really stoked. They got some accents on it, got my name on it on the pad here, and then also here. And then yeah, if anyone wants to get into foiling, like please reach out to me. I just love teaching people and also just helping them find the best gear that's right for them. So just love helping people find the best gear and getting them into the sport. I mean, it's definitely a new sport, but it's definitely growing fast. So just really stoked to be a part of it.
I may take you up on that. That's one that my son and I have talked about. I've done a lot over my life. I picked up surfing, I guess, later in life. I was a junior in high school out on Sanibel Island with some high school buddies. And then, came to JU here, found the pier and went, oh my God, this is heaven. This is amazing. I've done a little bit of snowboarding, kite surfing, and foiling are two of the ones I've just never gotten into. I did wakeboarding as a kid. But when I see those guys appropriately out in the water here, not around other people doing their foils, it's something that we always, when I'm out with the family, especially, we always stop and like watch the guy just gliding. And Kyle and I were talking about it ahead of the recording. He's done it once behind a boat. And I imagine that being just an extremely freeing experience because surfing is such a spiritual experience for so many that do it, especially me. And I don't want to assume, but someone that's in it as much, there it's not just a hobby. And so to be out there doing that, but then also be above the water has to be just a next level experience. So for those who haven't done it, talk a little bit about, I guess, the evolution of foil boarding, right? Because it is new. And then specifically what got you into it, because surfing is an alternative sport, but you just went, well, let's just go a little bit further. And there's guys in the book like Laird Hamilton, Garrett McNamara that pioneered some of this with the toe in and all that. But those guys who see these extreme sports and go, yeah, but there's more. I want to hear about that moment for you.
Yeah, first off, just want to say I can't wait for your book to come out. I was like wanting to read it prior to coming onto the show, but
Very soon, I'll
I
get you one.
I can't wait. But yeah, just the whole background of the water sports for me really started with my dad. He's like the biggest influence for me all around. So he was really into surfing back in the day, and then we had a condo here on the beach here, and my mom would watch him sitting out in the lineup, like not getting any waves, and all these kiters were just boosting over him and like getting so much action. And she was like, I didn't see you get any waves. Like, why don't you do this kiteboard thing? He was like, oh, that actually sounds pretty cool. So he got into kiteboarding and like fully transitioned to kiteboarding, loved it, and then took me up to real water sports in the Outer Banks when I was 10 years old. And that's where I really started to learn how to kite. So it was like wakeboarding behind a jet ski and then kiteboarding. And then I just fell in love with it right away. So I was like super big into kiteboarding for years. And then from the kiteboarding, just was really into the all water sports, really just pretty much anything that I could do to get me in the water. That's the beautiful thing about kiting. When it's blown out conditions for surfing, it's just like perfect kiting conditions. We get some nor'easters out here that are just so much fun. And then it really, once I heard about the foil, it actually like came from my dad. So he was the one who had a friend who started kite foiling first. So he was foiling on the kite, and then he came down to Orlando where I was going to college at UCF and brought a foil down and was like, we got to try this out behind the boat. So that was when we really started foiling a lot. Just wake foiling is like a great way to get into it, just getting the feel for it. And then my roommate, Noah Flegel at the time, he's a pro rider for Armstrong and Nautique boats. So we were living together on the lake there. So we each had our wake boats and just pretty much in between classes, just going out and just seeing if we could learn new tricks. Who can do the first 360? Who can do the first flip on a foil? And just riding with him was like really what pushed our levels up together. So it was a really great experience in college being able to ride with him, and then coming back to the beach and then realizing like, whoa, there's so much more you can do with the foil. You can paddle into waves on your stomach. You can wing foil. Now we have the para wing, which is pretty cool as well. So you can do downwind foiling as well, which is like one of my favorite things. And that's just like a total mind blower because you're just out in the open ocean in the deep blue and you're just flowing with the wind bumps. So you're pretty much just surfing the open ocean. And we go out to Mexico a lot in Cabo, and there's whales blasting all around, like, and it's just like a surreal experience. Like nothing beats it, and just connecting with nature at the highest level. And really, it's just a tool to be able to maximize the conditions no matter what they are. So just can always get a session no matter what. If it's super small waves, you can paddle in on your stomach. If there's a little wind, you can go wing foiling. It's just a tool to get you out there more often. So just really grateful for it because all my days are better now because of foil. Because I mean, you can go out there for a 20, 30-minute session and come back in and sit back down at the desk and get to work, and you're just like stoked the whole rest of the day. So it's been a game changer for sure. But I mean, foiling goes back way longer than people even know. So it all started with the air chair. Have you seen the air chair, guys?
I have.
Yeah, so those things were super heavy, like aluminum setups on chairs and
Death traps, man.
death traps. Yeah, I went to Lake Powell on an Armstrong team trip with like these air chair legends, and these guys were doing double backflips and like Tovey, you got to strap in and try it out. I'm like, I'm good on that. I'm just going to stick to the stand up that I know. And so yeah, the guys like Laird, they were the ones that saw it and were like, hey, like we should put this on a surfboard and go tow into waves. And Laird slapped it on a board. He put snowboard boots on it
Yep.
and then goes out to the open ocean and he's just riding non-breaking waves. And I heard a story about him after he came back and like cracked the code, realized you could ride non-breaking waves on a foil, and he was just so fired up, like he had just cracked the code. And so it's really evolved from that. I mean, those were those guys that were doing it early on with like the equipment was terrible, like probably so scary to be getting rolled by a wave, like strapped in to like with boots on your board. But and then Kai Lenny posted a clip, or some clip went viral of him like paddling in on a wave and then connecting multiple waves in Indonesia. Like, so it was the first time anyone had seen a rider like get off of one wave, pump out, and connect. And that's where the sport really started to take off more. And the gear is just getting insane. So like we always thought like, oh, there's no way it can get any better. Like there's no way. Like I feel like me and my buddy Noah, we thought our riding had like plateaued, like we had peaked. We're like, we've pushed the sport as hard as it can, and then it's like new tricks come. We keep pushing it harder. The gear keeps getting better. And yeah, it's just like the technology of the gear is really getting insane. Like soon we're gonna see foils that are like as light as my normal non-foil setup that have like a battery in it and a propeller, and you can just catch so many waves. And yeah, and you can just pump for all day long. Like the technology is just getting insane.
I love that the technology is making it more accessible, right? Because so few people live with accessibility to decent waves, not great waves, right? But now with the wave pools and the lakes and better technology and different ways to get in, right? Like you're saying, between towing and kites and all that, like there's just something so amazing about, like you said, whether it's open ocean, just flowing with nature, just going out here and hitting some shore pound on a foam board. It's just being out there and having some kind of energy that you don't control, moving you around and connecting with it. It's been something that, is one of the constants in my life, where when things get completely out of control, you can get out there and no one's going to mess with you. You can find a spot where you can just go sit and be and just ride a few waves. And like you said, it may not be stoked, to the max every time, but you just feel better because you were in the freaking ocean. You got to go sit on a board and, life's not that bad.
100%. I mean, the ocean will always be there for us, and that's like the most beautiful thing. If you're not having the best day, you just something about just getting wet. Like even if you go out for a 10-minute session, link a couple waves, like there's never been a time where I go out there and regret going. It's just like it's always worth it. Even if the wind's too light and I don't get up and don't get riding, I got out there, I got to move around, like I'm feeling better. And yeah, it's really just been a total game changer with the foil, especially because it's like you have way more access to sessions. I mean, like the Lazy River clip that you referenced, that's just like urban foiling. You don't need anything for that. You can literally go up to a dock or off a boat and just start pumping. So, but yeah, it's this like the connection with the ocean is really something special to me. And just riding more and getting more experience, you really learn the conditions. You can walk down to the beach, just throw your hands up and tell like exactly what the wind's blowing, exactly what gear you should ride. And when you connect all the pieces together with like the right gear and the right conditions, it's just like pure bliss.
That's awesome, man. It's been such a part of my life. Like I said, I grew up doing it. We drive across the state to go to Sebastian Inlet and coming up here and all that stuff. I got engaged, down in Nicaragua on a surf trip. It was awesome, man. It was a whole week. There's just so many things where I look at like the times I've been to Hawaii and I got to surf over in Oahu. Like it's just these things where you look at those. And I've been to Lani Kai and I saw the guys kite surfing. I hear Lani Kai Beach is like one of the meccas for kite surfing. I didn't get to go, but I watched the guys. But there's all these things. And so to have legends like Laird and Garrett in the book, now having you on the show, it's just this really cool connection point. And so speaking of connections, I do want to hit your other relic and then your books too. So what is this other board that's and again, if you're listening, go watch YouTube and clips because these boards are beautiful and amazing. And you got to see what he's about to talk about.
Yeah. So Jerry Lopez Mi Mr. Pipeline himself, so he's just an absolute legend in the surf world. I mean, he discovered Uluwatu to himself and just like scored waves, just told a couple of his close boys about it, and that man's lived like the best life ever, just scoring the most pumping waves with no one around. But yeah, I was out in Cabo, and I'm just like chilling on the beach, and I see this guy just flying down a wave on a foil, and it was my first time ever seeing someone foil on a wave in the ocean, and it was Jerry Lopez. And then he was the one telling me, he was like, "Oh, Austin, like I'd love to shape you a board." And I was like, "No way, Jerry Lopez wants to shape me a board. Like this is incredible." And he was like, "What color do you want?" And I was like, "Something like Rasta theme." He was like, "Rasta flage for you, my friend." And I was like, "No freaking way." So then and then he pumped it out, and it's just a straight masterpiece. I have it on the wall in my office, and I've rode it a few times. It's incredible. The Armstrong tech is definitely a little better, but it's just so great to see Jerry Lopez involved in our sport now. I mean, he's like the most respected surfer in the world, and now seeing his passion for foiling is just truly amazing. He's really into the foil drive thing now, which is the battery in the board with the little prop, so you can get on multiple waves, rise up, and just keep gliding and keep gliding. So he just designed a foil drive specific board. It's called the Pelican model, because he just says he wants to be as close to like flying over the surface of the water like a pelican. And it rides amazing, and it's very stable, and it's just awesome because we've seen so many people get into the sport now just because of the foil drive. A lot of older guys that like can't paddle in and get up, they're able to just get on waves with a throttle and just get wave after wave, and they literally say, "I've got a new lease on life because of this sport." And it's just incredible to see like all of these surf guys that were just core to surfing. They see Jerry doing it at his age. He's getting older, but he's so into yoga, and he's so good at foiling too. And like they're all see like, "Oh, I should get into that." So it's just been incredible for our sport. But that kind of leads into my next little relic that I brought, is this book called No Bad Waves by Mickey Munoz. So Mickey Munoz he is 88 years old, and I saw him out in Cabo, and he's out there stand up paddling, just getting on bombs. And I'm like, this guy has cracked the code. Like, this is the biggest inspiration. And it just shows, like, if you're active every day and like you find a passion that you truly love and enjoy that drives you to get out there, I mean, you can have a very high quality life, and just a simple life too. Just like this other book, Morning Glass by Mike Doyle. He's the person who I met in Cabo and showed me all these amazing spots that still very few people know about. And in this book, he just talks about just a lot of great things, just about like the simple things, and just time in the water, and how amazing life can be just by enjoying nature, and just the things in life that are free, pretty much. So one of the really cool quotes in this book from Mickey, though, that has like a lot to do about foiling. He's one of the quotes is, "There are no bad waves, only a poor choice of equipment and a lousy attitude." So that one really hits hard for me.
I love that one. I was doing some ultra marathon training, some Ironman stuff, and I heard the quote that there's no bad weather, just bad gear, right? And because you're out there and hot, cold, whatever, like you can always gear up. And same thing, right? I mean, you talked about it, and what a great way of sport imitating life, right? Is yeah, you can have a bad day, bad conditions, bad environment, but if you have the right tools, the right mindset, if you're going to go out and get stoked because no, I didn't get 10 waves, but I got one, and that's better than zero.
100%. It's all about the mentality. It's all up here, right?
Some there. The other thing that really hit me is Daniela Tomic, who's head volleyball coach, women's volleyball coach at University of Cincinnati. She's in the book. She's one of the contributors, and her episode will come out just after this one, so y'all can stay tuned. She talked about she came from a war-torn country in Eastern Europe, And she remembers the first time she saw a volleyball court, and she knew that that was her thing. And so she left at 16, moved to another country to play volleyball, then came to the US not speaking English on a scholarship. But she remembers that moment. And so you think about the impact that those kids that were playing volleyball at that time had on that little girl, and what Jerry had on you, and now you have on the next generation. Because, especially when I was growing up, we didn't have social media, right? You're a little bit younger than me, I assume. So at least you look it. We're not going to say ages, but because you've discovered the code of being outside more than I am. I'm here in the office. Is going through this, and I just threw myself completely off with that. That's so funny. What the heck was I talking about?
She was able to see the volleyball court, which inspired her. I was able to
Yes.
see Jerry on the wave, which inspired me, which allows us to inspire the next
You, Austin.
generations. What it's all
Thank you,
about.
Austin. And so what I was saying is I didn't grow up with social media. That's where we were. And so Kyle will cut that for me, so we're good. And so with you having not only being able maybe to see some of these guys like the Jerrys, on social and YouTubes and stuff like that more on the internet than I was, but now being able to be not even in the same room, in the same spot in the ocean with these guys. How does that feel to you to know that you are now in a position and have a platform where you can put out positive messages and show kids like how amazing the ocean and the sport can be and be a positive influence on their life? Like, does that ever kind of hit you of like, I'm in that spot now. I'm a sponsored writer. I've got my own board. I'm a professional at this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about passing it down to the next generation and just getting the younger kids all stoked about it. And they get so fired up about it. Like, I have a son, Hudson, just turned 7 years old, and like he's so frothed on wakeboarding, wake surfing, foiling, and he's just obsessed with it. Like, it's like a true passion that I see through him, and he just loves it. Like I can totally see it. But I also see just like all these other kids that get so fired up on the sport, and it just allows them to get out there way more often. So that's the thing. A lot of these kids that are really great at surfing, when the waves are even smaller, they can still get out there by getting on the foil. So that's why I've always been super open to coaching people, teaching them how to ride, because once it clicks and once you get that bug, like, you're locked in, and it's really good for just the whole lifestyle. It's just like it's good for your mental. It's a good, healthy lifestyle. So, and just to have like a passion and like a sport that you're trying to progress in is, I feel like, really, really good for you. I mean, just having something on your mind, like, oh, what's that next trick that I should be doing next? And just that constant progression is just like, you can kind of bring it into all different areas of life besides just your sports.
All right. Well, let's get into the main topic of the two types of people. So, Austin, there are two types of people in this world. What are they?
Well, I'd say the two types of people are the one type that holds themselves accountable for everything in their life. So just the one thing that I've been really thinking about a lot more lately is just like taking full ownership. So taking full ownership and just being able to realize that you really are in control of your own destiny, right? So that's really the main thing. Is the two types of people are the ones that take full ownership, and then the other type is the ones that can try to kind of blame other outside sources and say, oh, it was this or that, and that's the reason why this isn't going my way. So yeah, I've just really been thinking more about like just full accountability and just knowing that your life is in control, in your own hands. So really just that's kind of where I'm trying to go with it.
So why have you been thinking more about that lately? Is there something going on in your life? Is it being a dad, with a son who's growing up? Is it something going on professionally?
Yeah, I just feel like it's just really important to just like take full ownership of all aspects of your life. Say, oh, if I made a mistake in the past, like, you got to just man up and own it, and then just try to try to do the best you can with it. And if sometimes life doesn't go your way, you got to try to just realize that it was you that did that, and then try to make something out of it. But I mean, it's just a lot of things. Like we just like all of my friends have been talking about this, like instead of trying to blame other people or other things for the reasons why things don't go your way, it usually always comes back to you somehow, and sometimes you might not even realize that. So like realizing that it was you that got you in that situation is like the first step to becoming a better person, I guess, and just trying to take your life to the next level. So, and the other thing that I was thinking is just like the whole thing about also just like embracing discomfort. Like I know that's like a main theme going on. Like, Jocko talks about it a lot, but it's just like purposely finding discomfort by, just the basic things like working out hard, pushing yourself to the limit, doing things that you don't want to be doing for something that will project your life forward in the future. So,
Well, and it's about the end goal, right? And I think a lot of times when I get derailed, whether it's like I literally just have to stop doing something for a minute, or I just get that head trash, it's I forget why I started doing whatever it is in the first place, right? And that's my definition of determination. We'll get there in a second. Is remembering why you started in the first place, because I'm sure you've had no trials and tribulations. It's all been smooth sailing, pun intended, right? It's about knowing, and you mentioned Jocko, right? And I don't know if you've seen his clip about good, and it's a Navy SEAL idea of good. The plan didn't go the way you wanted. The conditions weren't great. My board failed. The ref didn't do whatever. My wife this, my partner that, whatever. Good.
that's a strong mentality to have. That's a definitely powerful way to think about things, and can just inspire you to go harder, learn from it, and just move forward and be better next time around.
Right? Hey, did you land flips the first time you tried them?
Heck no,
Did you
heck
stand up on a foil board or surfboard the first time you tried?
no, no, no.
Right. And so it's about understanding that if we're going to get to whatever it is that we're trying to get to, it's gonna suck. Like plain and simple, it's going to be hard and it's going to be painful. And there's going to be 100 times, maybe even in a single day where you go, I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah, yeah. We don't ever want to see that in people trying to get into foiling. We feel a lot of the people whose minds are open to it, I love to see that because they're open to trying something new and possibly looking like a total kook again. Like a lot of these like core lord surfers, they don't want to be near it because they don't want to look bad at something. So it's like, yeah, you'll look silly learning it, but it's so worth it once you get through the hard times. So you can apply that to many different areas of life.
That's right. And I've heard the one, it's like if you knew you were only 10 failures or 100 failures away from success, how excited would you be for the next 10 and the next 100? Right. So if I knew it was going to take me, when I started 100 times to get up on that thing, you're like, sweet, I'm only at 80 more. But you get up and you go, I've tried 20 times. What the hell? I can't get up on this thing. So going 80 more and I'm going to be flying for the rest of my life.
That's the mentality right there. I'm gonna start telling people that when I'm trying to coach them
Well,
because I see people getting frustrated, and I hate to see it, but it's just you gotta just stick with it and just bear through the pain and bear through being a kook because it's way better once you're on the other side.
no doubt. No doubt. All right. So I'm going to wrap up with, actually, I do have a few questions for you and then we'll get out of here because I'm sure you got somewhere to go, hop on a board somewhere today, right? It's Friday.
Oh yeah.
Nice weather.
Oh
Come
yeah.
on. Come
Oh
on.
yeah. Come on.
All right, so I mentioned determination, and this show is part of the Determined Society network of shows where I co-host with my buddy Sean French, who you need to meet soon, and we have some stuff coming up there. You're probably going to meet him, which will be great. I'll tell you later off air. I mentioned my definition of determination, and so I'd like to know yours. What is your definition of determination?
All right, I'm gonna try to keep this one a little bit shorter. I know I rambled really long
you
on
go,
the
man.
two types of people, but I mean, I'd say it's just doing whatever it takes to get to where you want to be. So, determination, no matter what it takes, you know that you must do it in order to achieve that goal. So just being determined, as in just going as hard as possible to achieve that, and just knowing it's going to get really hard, but you must persevere and keep pushing until you accomplish it, really.
Staying in the game, man. It's been one of the recurring themes throughout the shows, a lot of our client work. It's just staying in the game. Like I look at Ironman and I did one, it was this lifelong goal to do it. I was actually out in Hawaii when I was in 4th grade, and we just happened to be at the Ironman World Championships. That's how small it was back then, right? I was like, oh, cool. They're like running down this race. Cool. And so I'd always wanted to do it. I didn't do Hawaii, I did Florida, but just doing that, it took a very long time to like just think about, oh, one day, and then you start with the sprint triathlons and you work your way up. It's like,
Yeah, Ironman would be a crazy mental challenge, and that I just couldn't imagine doing that, but that would be really cool to train for. But I'd say, yeah, just like you said, just staying in the game, rolling with the punches, and just keep going, right? Like life can get tough, but it's pretty like summed down to it, like just keep going. Just keep going.
that's it. And their whole motto is anything is possible, right? So if you keep going, eventually you will cross the finish line. That's it. It's the whole name of the game. So yeah, 100 times during the race, you're going, this sucks. Why did I even start? Why did I spend 6 months doing this shit? I'm out of here, but you just keep going. You find a way to just take that next step, and eventually you finish.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. I love that.
all right. So I got one more for you. Your hype song. If there is one song when you are getting ready to compete, you just need that extra little bump, what is the one song that's your go-to?
Well, I'm really big into like bass dubstep music, so as a hype song, I'd say this song called Psych. It's a Psych Distinct Motive remix. That one will get you fired up.
All right. We are going to add it. Psych. There it is. I love it.
Psyching.
We are going to add. So we have an official playlist for the Determined Society. So we ask all our guests what their one hype song is. So it's a full curated playlist of hype songs from high performers. So we're going to add Psych to the
All right,
playlist.
let's do it. Some might think it's a little out there, a little much, but I'm trying to keep it real and authentic. That one gets me fired up every time, makes me want to go rip. So,
Well, Austin, thank you so much for coming by to bring some amazing relics, have an awesome conversation, hopefully inspire someone, regardless of age, where they live, to get on a board or at least get in the ocean and just see what it's all about. Find someone a buddy, a coach, or whatever that can get you out there, because it is something that, as a baseball player, those days are long gone for me, but surfing is one of those things that I hope to be doing for as long as I can and pass it down to my kids, grandkids, and shit, maybe even great grandkids. Who knows?
yeah, looking forward to getting some surf sessions with you. And just know we're going to get Pat flying on the foil here soon.
You heard it here first.
Going down. And shout out Good Tides Landscaping, Mango Mike. He's the best in the business. He's super creative with it. He's the one that put us together. So shout out Mango Mike from Good Tides.
He's always creating bangers, as he says. And
Yeah.
Austin's, in some of the bonus content, we'll share what we did shoot in your house, because that place, talk about a Zen garden with exactly, as you've been listening to this, if you've been picturing where Austin kicks it when he's on the ocean, it's exactly what you would envision. Probably the beautiful paths, the hidden spots, the hammocks, all that good stuff.
The sauna, the cold plunge. Mike just really tied it together nicely. Kind of just let him freestyle on the spot, and he just crushed it. Just got all these. I got a Satsuma mandarin. I got a elderberry tree, and he's great at what he does. He was telling me a story. He at his son's baseball game, there was like the dad's time to go whack the ball, and he was like, bombs for the moms, and showed me a video of him just hitting like a home run. He's like, bombs for the moms. I'm like,
right.
Nice.
He sent me the same ones.
Legend, dude, legend.
He is. Austin, thanks again. Please subscribe to all of this stuff. Go out there on social. Please watch the videos, because I'm telling you, this was a visual episode that you need to see. Plus, he's got the throwback Jags hat on. So we got the Prowlers kicking it here. on the episode. So Austin, thanks again, man, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Pat. It's been a pleasure.